This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
There we go. There we go. There it is. There it is. And he's gonna do the entire segment in French.
Pourquoi pas? Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, no, I know. Like 1% of the folks are going to understand it.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely classic. By the way, did you see any extra security out there at the facility or the stadium? Just wondering.
I did not.
No? Okay, because there's only one reason why Belichick is here this early. He's planting cameras and mics all over the damn place.
That's funny.
It's not about heat or any of that bullshit, okay? It's about cheating. It's about knowing that Tua is his kryptonite, that he's Tua's bitch, okay? 0-3, about to be 0-4. I mean, this is scary for Belichick. He's never been owned by a quarterback ever. He's never been owned by Tyreek Hill, who has more yards against any team but the Patriots there. 4 times, 400 yards.
It's funny you should mention that. I actually wrote about Tyreek Hill this morning, did a big takeout on him, including what he did against the Chiefs. And this is where, again, you have
with the Chiefs against the Patriots, you mean?
Correct. What Hill did with the Chiefs against the Patriots, you have to look deeper at just the numbers because, yes, but here's the thing. The first 2 games, Hill absolutely destroyed them. It was 6-130, 3-1 touchdowns, 7-142, 3 touchdowns. And then the last 2 games, he still was effective. He had like 64 and 62 yards. So I don't know if Belichick adjusted. He had better personnel on defense those years. And mind you, they played 4 straight years in 17, 18, 19, and 20. They didn't play last year.
And they have lesser talent around him at wide receiver than they do here. So that's the thing. He didn't play with a Waddle, which really takes away a lot. And so I know you play with Kelsey, who's a monster, but at wide receiver, there wasn't another wide receiver opposite of him in Kansas City. Like Mecole Hardman's nice. They had like nice players, but not a Waddle. So I think that will help out a little bit to take some pressure off. I don't know
that's
how
a great equalizer. That in not having Kelsey, the equalizer is having you have Waddle. Hardman is in the same ballpark in terms of speed. But he's not the wide receiver Jalen Waddle is.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. And I think Cedric Wilson also is going to add an element to it. I really like the balance that they have on the Dolphin offense. If they can run, oh my God. But their balance on passing, I mean, Tua is going to have a field day. Really, he should have somebody open practically on every down. I don't know a team that's going to have that many corners to shut down that many guys, to be quite honest. Don't know.
No, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. Obviously, the prospects are very, very, very good, very encouraging, but you still got to get it done. It's not like, Dolphins are not going to throw for 400 yards every game.
No.
But they do have, and they have a lot of different options because, as you mentioned, it's not just Hill and Waddle. I like Trent Sherfield a lot. I mean, he impressed the hell out of me.
Me too.
Throughout training camp. Probably even more so than Cedric Wilson, who's a nice player.
It looked like Cedric was underused during training camp in the preseason. It was underwhelming, actually, how much they didn't use him. And I don't know if it was by choice or what. I have no idea. But it was kind of weird because Cedric was not as big a part of the offense that we saw.
No, but then we haven't even talked about Izukama yet. So they have an embarrassment of riches at wide receiver. Basically, what they have, and even to a higher degree, is the vision. Remember when they added all those wide receivers before last year, and then all of them got hurt.
Yeah.
And the idea was like, wow, look at the wide receiver core they put together, and it'll all plop. It just fell apart. And this time they did it again. I mean, so they were completely revamped it because Waddle's the only one left.
Right. Because they had a lot of injury-prone wide receivers. That was your problem, too, that you counted on way too many guys that have an injury history all on one team. I get it if you take a chance with one guy, but it can't be Devontae, and it can't be also Albert Wilson and Will Fuller. And there was one more, I think, that they had, but it was just too many guys that had Preston Williams. Too many guys that had an injury history that it just takes you completely out of whack. And all these guys, right, you're starting off with a completely different set of wide receivers. Speaking of injury, it looks like the Waddle thing really isn't that serious, right? So they were more precautionary, does it look like, from what you saw yesterday on the field?
Well, the thing is, we see him for their first 3 periods. It was basically stretching and then working with their position group and catching passes from the quarterback. So, don't really know. I can tell you what Mike McDaniel told us. He was very, 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 very confident that he'd play in week 1. We'll obviously know more when the official injury report comes out tomorrow, and we'll see whether he's even limited or if he's full. If he's full, then it's a total non-issue. If he's limited, then you're like, okay, something's up.
Yeah. Tomorrow we'll find out a lot because tomorrow's the first injury report. So we'll finally get to find out the info there. When I look at this game, and you can never ever guess what this guy's going to do because he is so unpredictable. But I'm going to try to predict it. And I kind of get the feeling that they're going to try to run the hell out of the ball against the Dolphins, since it is what's considered a weakness of the defense, because it hasn't been proven that they are run stuffers overall. I think they're going to try to keep Tyreek Hill off the field as much as possible. And I almost feel like they're going to try to pull like that Buffalo game that he only threw 2 or 3 passes. I think he'll throw 10 or 15 or 20 of them, but he's only going to complete, I think, like 8 or 10 or 12 passes. I don't think they're going to ask him to pass a ton. I think they're going to try to run a ton. Do you agree on Sunday?
It makes the most sense. I mean, especially for all the talk that we've heard coming out of New England throughout the summer is the offense a complete mess. And what's the biggest mess over there is the pass protection. Like, they don't know what the hell they're doing. Well, if they're running the ball 90% of the time, they don't need to know what they're doing in pass protection. That's number one. And you mentioned the run defense being a perceived weakness of the Dolphins. Truth is, we don't know. It's a brand new season. You go back to last year because they had pretty much the same personnel.
That's what I'm saying.
With the same scheme. And I'd say the run defense was spotty. I don't think it was great. I don't think it was bad. But the strength of that defense last year is not what it is at the start of this season, and that's the cornerback spot because you don't have Brian Jones. And not only that, Nick Needham, based on what I saw Monday and what we saw last week, he's somebody I would half expect is going to be listed as limited tomorrow in practice. So now you're down a lot of cornerbacks, and now you're looking at Keon Crossan, Noah Benogany, Kader Kahu, Elijah Campbell. So who's to say that, Belichick doesn't go, no, they're expecting us to run all the time because that seems to be what makes the most sense. But guess what? We'll cross them up and throw some shots down the field. That would surprise me, but certainly it can be a factor there because, again, and that's the strength of the New England offense is they're very good at running back, and they have, for the most part, a solid offensive line, even though the pass protection was a complete joke in the summer from everything you read.
All right. Alain Poupart joining us, of course, here like he does every week with our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Don't forget to call the great people at EJD Construction, 305-433-4843. And I'm not talking about a handyman. I'm talking about custom home construction, major home remodeling. They do it all. You need to redo the roof. You need to add an addition. You need to add a second floor. You name it, major home remodeling, the folks at EJD Construction can do it. 305-433-4843. All right. Andrew Van Ginkel, AVG. What did you see from him? Because he was able to come back from practice. Is it realistic that he even plays this week?
I mean, he warmed up. He went in there when they did the position drills. Mind you, there was no contact, so it wasn't like he was taking shots or anything, but I think I saw online that depending on the nature of the appendectomy, if it's There's one that's not very severe where they're talking about a 1 to 3 week recovery period. And we're talking about a professional athlete here. So is it out of the realm of possibility? No, I would definitely declare him out.
It just seems so odd, right? They took out your appendix and you're like 2 weeks later you're playing and it's just like, damn, dude.
Well, he played against the Raiders, which was August 20th.
Right.
And then if you do next Sunday, that's 3 weeks from that point.
Okay. Yeah.
Depending on when the surgery took place, if it's that Monday, again, I don't know. We haven't asked McDaniel for an update on that. I'm guessing we'll ask him tomorrow, and I'm guessing he's going to say we'll have to wait and see.
Right.
That's how that goes.
Right. Of course, because you talked to him before practice tomorrow.
Correct.
So he's not going to say anything until he sees a couple of days of practice, and then he still will tell you it's a game time decision on Friday when it's all said and done. Because
I missed the days, and if you remember this, the injury report used to list guys from the start of the week as out, doubtful, questionable, probable, and then they could update that status every day. But you had one of those reports every day. Now you don't have that classification until Friday. And then Wednesday and Thursday is strictly the practice status if they were full or limited.
Right.
We did not practice. I missed those days.
All right. The practice squad, they filled out the rest of their practice squad. Anything catch your eye from the practice squad that you like for Dolphin fans out there? What info do you have?
Well, the two guys who stand out are clearly, to me, Gustin and River Craycraft, who would be who, if they get called up, I would have, zero reservation about their ability to get the job done. Caleb Barnes is the one who's intriguing just because of the speed. But in talking to folks in Carolina, I'm told as a cornerback and talking about technique, he's got a lot of speed. That's basically where it starts and where it ends. So very, very raw. But again, there's somebody, you have that kind of speed. It's always intriguing to see if you can make something happen. And then Freddie Swain from Seattle has punt return experience. Is that someplace they can go if eventually, especially if Waddle is less than 100%?
I don't want those guys returning.
We talked about this. I don't want any of them either. And don't be surprised if it's Cedric Wilson with Mostert or Benogany returning kickoffs. I think that's what I predicted to you last time we spoke.
You're old enough, but I told the story. There was one year where Shula couldn't find a great returner, and everybody was complaining about Scott Miller. And he was like, he basically told everybody, shut the F up, dude. The guy can catch the ball and make sure that there's no turnover. So if I can't find a great returner, I got to find somebody that can at least catch the ball so I can maintain the possession. And some people would shut up after that because they kind of got it. Like, okay, we get it, bro. Scott Miller isn't special, but he doesn't drop the ball. So that's what Shula needs so he could get the offense on the field. And so, that was Shula's thinking. I can't find the great returner. Let me get somebody that at least will maintain the possession and not drop it. And maybe that's where McDaniel is right now. He can't find the great returner, but at least I'm not going to find somebody that's going to F up the situation for me also.
No question. And then if you're either
you remember that, by the way? You remember that?
Scott Miller, yeah. No, and he was very sure-handed, and he was a very solid punt returner. Yeah, but I could see if you're down or it's late in the half or you need a spark, get Hill back there. That's fine for like one time, once in a blue moon, not on a regular basis.
Amen to that. All right, let's get to the nitty-gritty. The prediction time. All right.
Later this week.
Come on.
I gotta have time to think.
So wait, I gotta ask it on the second go around here. All right.
Later this week, it'll be closer to the regular season.
This isn't really going to change much right now from now till then.
It's going to give me time to actually think about it because I don't have a great feel for this team, to be honest with you. It didn't take a rocket scientist in 2020 to figure they would take a big jump and they could be competitive. Last year, to me, it was like, I think they're going to take a step back, and they did. And this year, it's like, I just don't know. I will tell you this.
In today's world, dude, I going to camp every day compared to where it was 15, 20, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, it's not even close, dude.
As far as what?
Like getting a feel for a team.
Oh, correct.
So they can be, Can they run the ball? Can they stop the run? Will they be a good tackling team? You just you cannot get a feel for a team in today's training camps.
Correct.
No way, dude. There's just not enough.
No, I will tell you this. The one thing, and we're talking about predictions, like the game Sunday is like, it just seems too obvious. Like, what do the odds makers know to make the line only 3 when the arrow?
It's just home field. Usually when you're
even. I'm saying only 3 based on what we've seen in the summer. And the Dolphins, the arrow looks like it's going up. New England looks like it's going way down. How the hell is the point spread only 3? I mean, it's almost too obvious. You go Dolphins -3, but it's like,
well, new coach. There isn't that strong belief in Tua in a lot of people. They're not like, us Tuanons that we believe in the kid and that we think he's going to be a terrific player this year now that he has a foundation. A lot of people still don't believe in Tua. People like Alain Poupart. It's just
that's jerk with the Expos hat, that guy.
So that's the problem. I think that until those people cross that threshold, okay, yeah, McDaniel can coach. Oh, yeah, Tua can play the game. Yeah. I think then maybe Miami gets that respect. But right now, I think they're just getting the 3 points for being at home. That's it. That's it. Weird.
Yeah, but I did a story yesterday. Do you realize this is the first time the Dolphins have been favored against the Pit? Wow. Yeah. Like not even in the second meeting in 2020 when the Dolphins were 8-5 and New England was 6-7. Talk about a lack of respect.
Yeah, that's it, and that's exactly, you just nailed it right there.
Crazy.
There isn't that respect for the Dolphins. There used to be back in the Shula days. It was automatic, the respect, but it came with the track record. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, lack of respect goes with the track record.
It's what happens when you haven't made the playoffs since 2016.
Right. When you've made it twice in like 20 years.
Yep.
Or 3 times in 20 years. I mean, or 4 times maybe in 20 years, I think is
twice. Dude. Twice.
16, 8, 1.
Well, that's 20 years. 20 years ago is 2002.
Well, that's 21 actually. Yeah,
twice.
That's right. Right. Yeah, it's twice. And 6 and 18.
That's depressing, actually.
Yeah, 16 and 8. Yeah, that's right. Those are the only 2. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, it sucks, man. But that's kind of the territory that you're in. Unfortunately, that's kind of what you've earned right now. So that's why I think Vegas doesn't have that respect for they got to earn it, man. They got to earn it. They got to earn it. You look at the O-line. What are your concerns going into this game? If I can't get your prediction, at least till the end of the week, give me your concerns with the O-line going, especially into a game like this, where this guy's going to F with people.
Oh, prediction for the game, the Dolphins. Yeah, I got the Dolphins winning this game. But I thought you wanted a prediction for the season, which I'm not ready to make.
No, yeah, we'll get that later.
But okay.
But the offensive line. What are you concerned about? What do you like also?
No, here's the thing is I have a high level of confidence the Dolphins are going to be able to move the ball on Sunday because I highly trust Mike McDaniel and what I saw in training camp in the preseason with the naked boots where he's got Tua rolling outside and he's got people crossing across the field open. I see that happening on a very, very frequent basis, not only Sunday, but throughout the season. So from that standpoint, I think the passing game is going to do well. I don't expect, though, that you're going to see the deep shot to Tyreek Hill like you saw first play of the game because Belichick's not going to allow that. I think Belichick's going to have a safety who's going to be pretty close by, and then Tyreek Hill's going to get very familiar with his face. If I have a concern with the offensive line is can they run block against New England? And New England was terrible against the run last year. So if we're going back to using last year as a gauge to a team's concern on defense, I think that's a concern for the Patriots is can they stop the run? And then the Dolphins, can they establish a running game? We don't know. It was very encouraging what they did against the Eagles in the final game, but the Eagles had their B team ready to go on summer vacation. So, truth is, we don't know.
There's no way you can measure it nowadays.
Right.
There's none.
So and like everything else, until we see it, all we have is the hope and the optimism that the running game is going to be productive.
All right, what are you working on over at alldolphins.com at Sports Illustrated, so folks can check it out? And by the way, Dolphins, you must bookmark alldolphins.com so you can get all of Alain's articles every single day. What do you got?
You absolutely must. I've already written two things twice. I mentioned the Tyreek Hill take, kind of making the point that he's already actually contributed a lot since arriving in a trade from an off the field leadership standpoint, and now we're going to start to see what he does on the field. I broke down the practice squad, including the new rules for 2022. I'm about to rank the season openers against the Patriots. I think we all know what number 1 is, but there are 8 others to rank from 9 to 1. What else do I got going? I'm planning to do a big takeout on the offense, and is this finally the year would actually produce this?
Yes. Finally, they will break out this year.
That'd be nice.
Yes, it would be nice. It would be entertaining. It'll be fun for you to write about it,
Yeah.
All that good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL. Catch him twice a week doing his thing here with the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Alain, as always, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you immensely.
Right back at you, bud. Talk to you later in the week.
You got it. There you go. EJDconstruction.com.